Okay, hey guys, I'm so sorry about that. I have not used the new YouTube Studio in like ever. So like I was on the preview thing and I thought I was streaming, but apparently I wasn't. So I just like explained a bunch of stuff like just by myself for the first 3 minutes, and yeah. So now we're gonna have to do that again. That's okay. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay. Uh, yeah, did the audio level sound good? I got some chill music in the background that should be pretty good. Nice. Okay. It looks it looks like we're good now. Okay, yeah. That was. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. It's okay. It's okay. Rehearsal, exactly. So now I got it planned out. I can do it perfectly this time. Okay, so today we're going to be working on the inventory. And basically we already have like all the backend stuff set up, and our job today is going to be to hook up this backend stuff and just display it like on some sort of UI. And this UI is just going to be temporary for now. It's not going to be like final or anything. We just want to display it, and then later on we can go back and change it in for something else. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are excited. Sorry about the technical difficulty I had there. So yeah, let's hop over to Unity. That's not Unity. That's there we go. So I'm just gonna kind of show you guys where we're at right now. So let me. I have like a scene set up that's just kind of blank, so we can just kind of focus on the inventory without having to like load in the entire world. It'll save us a lot of time. So yeah, let's launch in here. Buttons. Yes, there's going to be buttons in the stream. They're not gonna do anything, I don't think. They just have cool animations. Okay. I'm going to. Actually, I forgot if Andy wanted to make a Discord announcement. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me put up my headset. Inventory is the most important thing. Yes, inventory is very important. Okay. So here we are in our blank little test scene. I'm gonna unplug my controllers because they should be good now. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is our inventory right now. These are just placeholder items. They're not actually doing anything. And our job today is going to make it display like whatever's in our inventory, and we're going to display it on there. So again, this is just super placeholder UI. We can swap in whatever for this. Yeah, so let me hop out of VR and show you the prefabs. Okay. Okay. Game is beautiful. I mean, that scene was pretty blank, but I'm assuming you mean like the actual game. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, let's look at our prefabs that we have here. So first we have the thing that you just saw. This is kind of just the inventory. And like I said, these are just placeholder. They don't actually mean 12 potions. It's just an image. It doesn't mean anything. Actually, let me pop this back over here. Okay. And then we have the actual inventory slot. And this is where a lot of our work is going to be going towards today. We're going to be writing some code for this. Sometimes less is more. Yeah, that's true. But the idea is, once we have the code for this built out, we can swap in like different UI for this, and it'll just work. And I'll explain what I mean by that later. So yeah, I think we're ready to start doing some coding, I think. Let me double check the stream is all good. Yeah, everything looks good. Gray and blue. Yeah, this color scheme is just super temporary for now. I'm not a UI designer really. I just picked a random color because it looked nice. So yeah, so we're gonna actually start doing some coding now. Let me zoom in a bit on these. So I was gonna do something. What was I gonna do? Okay, got my water. We're good now. Okay, so first we're going to start coding on the inventory UI slot. And this is going to be this thing right here, which we're going to... Gotta get my hotkeys right. Okay, no, okay, there. we're going to be writing the code for this so we can hook up the image and the text to like the actual data that's behind the scenes, and so we can display it to the user. So let's switch back to writer. Let me make sure it switches properly. Okay. And by the way, feel free to ask any like tips and tricks along the way. I'm happy to share any advice that you guys want. Super excited for the game's release. Yeah, I'm glad you're excited. Okay. So the first thing we need, we're gonna add some variables at the top for the different components that we need to reference. So every slot is going to have a bag index. So like your character has different bags. So we'll have int for the bag index and int for the slot index. So this basically just specifies which slot it is in your inventory. And I think that's good. So then we need the image. So let's put an image right here. And we're going to reference the image on our potion here. What else do we need? We need the equipment slot. So maybe this inventory slot goes with a equipment slot. So we'll have slot. I think that should be good for now. Let's check chat. You know when the game's gonna release? We're aiming for early 2021 for early access release. Actually, my chat is getting kind of covered up. There we go. Okay. You have no idea what any of this means, but it sounds cool. Yeah, coding takes a while to learn, but hopefully you guys can learn a little bit today. Okay, so we have our image, and we also need a reference to the text, so we can kind of display how many of the item that there is. So text pro, and we'll just say quantity text. Okay, that looks pretty good. Make sure. Yep. Okay, that look good there. Okay, so now we're gonna write two functions. I think right here, we're gonna have one to reset the slot, and we're gonna have one to add something into the slot. So if we have a system that tells the slot that it's holding whatever item, then this is the function that's gonna handle that. So let's put that right there. I keep forgetting to type that part. And then when we're setting up a slot, we want to pass in a item. So this is just going to come from somewhere else. We'll pass an item into this, and then this is going to display it on the actual potion itself. So now that we have the variables up here, we can actually go back to Unity, and we can, once it compiles, check chat. Okay. I feel like Unity might have frozen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Unity froze. Okay, we're just gonna switch back to writer and pretend that didn't happen. Oh wait, oh no, it's compiling now. Awesome. Okay. I thought we lost Unity there. Okay. Okay, no, I think it's still frozen. This is very live stream. Oh wait, no, is it back? Hello, Unity. What's happening? Unity. Okay, I'm pretty sure Unity froze, which is it happens sometimes. Unity isn't perfect, unfortunately. So I will just restart that. The stream might glitch out for a second while it's restarted. Hopefully it doesn't break. I think we're still good. Okay, cool, we're still good. So I'm making a class with a single slot item that all inventory. Yes, yeah, this is the class that will be on every of the inventory slot. I was about to show you that, but then Unity crashed. That's okay. We'll keep adding some code while it restarts. Okay. So we want to store what item is in this slot so that like we can access it later. So I'm just gonna add the item, and we'll call it current item. I'm gonna do a fancy thing here. It's not super important, but the main gist to get at this is that this is just a place for us to store which item is in this slot from the code standpoint. And then I also want to store the definition of the item. So the definition of the item has things like the image, it has like the description of the item. So I want to be able to store that so we can display it. So we'll have an item definition, current item definition. We'll do that same fancy thing. Alright, cool. This is getting covered up. I'm actually not using Visual Studio, I'm using Writer. I prefer it over Visual Studio because it has some fancy features that Visual Studio doesn't have. What is the game being coded in? We're using C# right now. This is C# and Unity. Yeah, it's funny that Unity crashed right there because it had been fine all day long and it just decided to crash right there. That's my typical luck. Okay, cool. So now that we have our current item, let's set our current item to whatever got passed in right here. So whenever we're setting up the slot, we pass in the item and then we store it in the current item. And then we want to get this item definition thing, and we have like a fancy function for that already, so I can just call into that. So I can say current item definition, Zenith item database. I think it's get item. Okay, no, yeah, it's this one. And then we'll pass in the item ID. So what this does is it like looks in our database for the item. Well, it's more complicated than that, but it finds the item definition and then it gets stores it into this. Okay, Unity's back now. Let me pull up Unity. Oh, it's compiling. Okay. Let's check chat. So excited to spend some time in your world. Yeah, me too. You'll have like remove item, add quantity. Yep, yeah, pretty much. We're not gonna actually. I don't think we'll have time to actually like make stuff happen when you click on it. But we'll see where we get to. Are we using Notepad++ or a compiler? Well, I mean, Unity is basically handling all the compiling. So I just write my code here, and then Unity compiles it into scripts that we can use in our game. So let me open up what I had before. Give me 1 second. Inventory slot. Okay, here we go. Let's switch back to Unity. Wait, okay, what? Hey, there we go. Okay, so that I had already added the script here. But you can see that our variables are here. So we have the bag index, slot index, and we have the image. So we actually want to set the image to this. Somehow it already set it. So we just drag those in right there. And then if this was an equipment slot, we could set the equipment slot right here. But we're not going to set anything for that for now. It should be fine. For the bag index and the slot index, we'll just leave those blank for now. It should be fine. We'll set those later. Get some water. Okay, you gotta stay hydrated. Let's check Discord, everything's good. Okay, cool. Yeah, looks like we're good. Okay, so our inventory UI slot is pretty much... Actually, no, we forgot to display the image. I forgot about that. Okay, so we need to... remember I said the item definition has the image. We want to get the image from this and then display it on the potion, or not the potion, the inventory slot. So what we're going to do is, I think the best way to do this is to let me see if I can do this. Icon. Okay, yeah, icon. So we'll get the icon from the item definition and we'll store it in a sprite. And then we're going to check if the sprite is null or not, because maybe this item doesn't have an icon yet, or something like that. So just in case it doesn't, we want to check and see if it's null or not. And actually, let's check if it's not null. And if it's not null, then we're going to display it on the image. So we'll do image.sprite equals sprite. Cool. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Give me a second. Let's check chat. This actually isn't Unity's built-in text editor. This is like a third-party code editor. It's called Writer. It's my favorite coding thing to use. Well, like in my opinion. But now we search. It's also set the image to enabled, so that it actually like shows the image. Wait, why is this mad? Oh, it's probably just mad because I'm restarting Unity. That's fine. Okay. And if the sprite is null, like maybe there's not an image set, we're going to disable the image so it kind of just like doesn't show anything. That's cool. Let's see. We need to set the, oh, that's right. Yeah, we need to set the quantity to text. So text, set text, and we want to set this equal to the amount of items that there are. So the item actually has item.quantity, and let's put like an X in front of it, so it's kind of like times 12 or something like that. I think that would look good. And let's also make a variable for just like if this slot has something in it, so we'll just have a has item, and we'll just set it to false by default because they don't start with items in them until we add items. So that looks good. Let me check the stream is good. Yeah, for some reason Unity is not happy today and it crashed again, so I'm trying to restart it now. But that's fine. Let me just kill this to make sure. Okay. Okay, yes, we still have some more coding to do, so that's fine. So in the reset slot, this is what we're going to call if there's no item and we just want to kind of like make the slot blank. So we'll just set the current item to null. We'll set the item definition to null. And null basically just means like, it essentially just means nothing. So we're just emptying these variables. And this just means that something we just want to have nothing. So we'll just set it to say that. We'll get rid of the sprite on the image. Image dot false. And then we'll set this has item to false. Since it does not have an item, we just got rid of it. Okay, cool. I think the script is pretty much done. Let me double check. Oh, we need to set has item to true since we're adding an item here. I think that's pretty much everything we need. There's some more stuff we need to add, but we can get to that later. So you're defining the item slots with the item type before even enabling the number of items within it. So essentially, I think that question will be it'll be a little bit more clear once we hop over to this other script, and I'll kind of explain how this hooks in with what we have. But I need Unity to stop crashing. That would be amazing. Okay, I think Unity is done crashing now. Okay, let me just put this up. You're back. Okay, back to Unity. Let me make sure my hotkeys are actually working. They are. Okay, cool. Okay, so we have the inventory UI manager script that I already added on here. So that's what we're gonna be working on next. But let's head over to the slots to make sure we didn't need to do anything here. This should be fine. Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the inventory UI manager, and this is basically gonna like spawn in the slots in the first place, and then like populate them with the right items instead of just this random stuff. Where's the glowy cube? It's not in the stream, unfortunately. Maybe in the future. Wait, you guys are watching on Discord and on YouTube? Okay. Let's hop over back to Writer. Wait, I missed the question that I wanted to answer. The class is quality value, but it can start with 0. Yeah, it's some of these will just start as like their default, and then we'll set them later on as we spawn in the items. Okay, yeah, so let's okay. So for the yeah, I actually already explained what it did. So we're gonna need some variables again. The first thing we're gonna need is we're gonna need a variable for the prefab that we just made. So that inventory UI slot. So we'll just get for UI slot, and we'll call it basic slot prefab. And this will let us basically spawn in a bunch of slots depending on how many slots you have in your bag, essentially. Okay, then we also need a place to spawn them. So we need transform to spawn them on. I'm terrible at naming variables, so feel free to make fun of me. Spawn trans. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, that seems fine. Let's do that. Let me check fit. Yeah, there could be 0 or less items in a stack, so we have to be careful not to like have stuff break if there's like 0 items or something. Oh, we gotta make sure that's okay. 12 slots for beginning is okay. Yeah, our bags don't actually have like the slots set up right now, so they just kind of have like infinite slots. So I'm just gonna like cap it to something just so like we don't crash Unity. Okay, so that's okay, Andy. Yeah, just for anyone. Well, if you're new, Unity keeps crashing on you, so that's fun. But as soon as Unity opens, we'll explain where we're at right now. You can expand the inventory later on with skills or something. Yeah, we're actually we're storing a lot of different things in the inventory, like items, tools, and stuff. Unity is almost open. Come on, Unity. It's almost there. Check the stream is still running good. Yep, looks good. Cool. Nice, okay. Also, I have this fancy BRB screen that I haven't had to use yet. Hopefully I'll get to use it at some point for some reason. I don't know. But if you're just joining, we just basically made this inventory UI slot script, which basically just allows slots in the inventory to kind of keep track of what items they have in them. So like we have the current item that's in the slot. We have references to the image and the quantity, so we can set like, oh, there's 12 items in the slot, there's 15 items in the slot, whatever like that. And we can set the image to whatever the icon of the item is. So maybe it's like a diamond or something. We set it to a diamond picture. Yeah. Or buy more slots from an inventory bag. So yeah, exactly. The system is designed so we can kind of just add. Well, it will be designed once I finish the script. It'll be designed so it can just spawn in whatever amount of slots you have. Okay, so Unity is back now. Let me try to pull this up before it crashes again. Okay, cool. You're both in Discord and the stream. Oh boy. Okay, cool. So I feel like Unity keeps crashing every time I try to capture it, so maybe I need to change the capture method or something. But for now we can just move on. I think it'll be fine. Okay. Alright, cool. So we have... oh yeah, I was going to set these in Unity. That's what I was going to do. Let's switch back to Unity. So we're going to set the inventory slot prefab that we just made. So we'll just drag that in there. Right there, yeah. And then we're gonna choose where they spawn at. So I'm gonna put this right there. That should be good. So this will let us spawn in the inventory slots, and you kind of see these slots right here. They're just like we can just spawn in a bunch of them, and they kind of automatically just wrap around. So our script is basically just going to spawn these in automatically, depending on how many slots you have. Yeah, I could change it to crop desktop, but I don't think I have time for that. It's okay. Let me actually revert that. I want the slots back. Nope. No. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. I wanted to save that. If you code in a script that will fry your brains, I don't think I can do that with code, unfortunately. That's not really possible, unfortunately. Okay, let's head back to writer. Okay, so we have these two variables set. And now we need to get a reference to our inventory system, and the inventory system will kind of just have like all the data in it, so we're just gonna fetch all the data from there. So get client inventory system, we'll just call it inventory system. And what's your thoughts on the new Oculus? I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited to check it out once I can get my hands on one. And then we also need a list of inventory UI slots. I'll just call that slots. Should this be public? That's fine. Okay, so I think we have all the variables we need. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Okay. Yeah, Unity is not happy. It's just crashing every single time. Let me try to change the capture method, actually. That's okay. We'll figure this out. This is very rare. Yeah, we can keep coding for now, though. Okay. So when the game starts, we probably need to get this inventory system. So we'll do get component basis. Wait. So this will just get a reference to the client inventory system script that's on the object, and store it in this variable. Isn't it bad to show you coding because people could reverse engineer to make cheats? In most cases, yes, but we're trying to show like client-side things that don't really matter. So like if someone like changed how their inventory displays, like it's not really a hack. That's kind of like just like okay. But like obviously we're not going to show like any backend server code or stuff like that because we don't want people to mess with that. But yeah, we can show stuff like this pretty safely. Yeah. I'm not gonna even pretend what's going on. That's okay. And like I said, if you guys have any questions about coding, feel free to ask them. What coding language is this? This is C#, and we're using Unity. Super fun to use. Okay, so the inventory system has a couple of events that fire off whenever the inventory loads. So we're going to hook into those and actually like display stuff. So inventory system dot, I think it's on okay, let's use this one first. On bags initialized, and for that setup UI slots, and we'll generate a method for that. How long did it take you to learn to code? I've been coding since I was like 10, to be honest. Started with like Scratch and like Lego Mindstorms, and yeah, I've just been working on different stuff since then. Any specific reasons you guys chose Unity instead of competitors? It's not really like about competitors or stuff. It's just that we're all used, like all of us are pretty experienced in Unity. We've made games with Unity before, so it kind of makes sense for just us to use Unity since that's what we know how to use. Well, they're actually really active on this game. That's good news. Yeah, we're working on it pretty much every day. Any major reasons you prefer Writer over Visual Studio? So Writer just has like a lot of like nice to use features. So like for example, this asset usages thing, I'm not sure if it shows in OBS or not. But either way, I can click on this and I can kind of see which assets this script is used in, which is super helpful. And then it just has like a lot of like smart assist things. So like for example, if I comment these out, it'll tell me that this variable is not being used, and I should probably get rid of it. Just like a lot of little stuff like that I just really like. And it's also like pretty fast too. It's not like once it's started, it runs really well. I like it. Okay, so we have an event for the bags initialized. So that's kind of like when the bags get loaded for the first time. We also need an event for I think it on bags updated. Okay, and with that we'll refresh the UI. Generate function for that. And this is about okay. There we go. Yeah, that's really nice Unity integration. Are you guys using a third-party UI framework? Not exactly. We have like a lot of UI tools in Unity that I'll show you near the end of the stream that help us build out UI, but we're still using like the Unity UI system technically. Let me make sure the stream is good. Everything looks good. Grab some. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Yeah, I completely forgot to unmute my microphone. Sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, basically we're just going to loop over all the old slots and destroy all of them, and then we're going to clear the list so we kind of have a blank slate. Yeah, sorry about that. Console.write line more cookies, I agree. Okay, so now we're going to spawn in the slots, and to do that we need to get a list of, we need to get how many slots are in this bag. What does Unity do? Yeah, Unity is just not happy. Let me try changing the capture method. Give me 1 second. Unity. No, wait. on Unity. Hang in there. Okay, I think Unity survived. Let's try. Capture method. Let's try this. Oh. I think that worked. Okay, I guess that worked. We'll see if it keeps it from crashing. Hopefully. Okay. What was I gonna do? Right. So we have a blank slate now. So we need to get the amount of slots that we need to spawn in. So let's get the inventory system that we got earlier. We're gonna go to the bags, and we need to get the equipment bag. Or not the equipment bag. We need the inventory bag. So that's good. And then we need to get the capacity of the bag. So we'll do slots amount equals bag dot capacity. And then again, like I mentioned, the capacity is like sort of infinite right now, or 0. So we're just going to cap it. So if slots amount is less than equal to 0, then we'll just cap it to 25 slots, I guess. This is just temporary. If ever. Checking chat. Code looks really clean. I like it. Thank you. I do my best. Okay, so we're gonna spawn in bag.capacity amount of slots. So let's just make a for loop. A for loop, if you don't know what that does, it basically just loops and runs the same code however many times you want it to. So in this case, I want it to spawn in. I want this to run once for every slot there is, so I'm gonna do it for the amount of slots like that. So let's instantiate the prefab that we said earlier up here, and we'll spawn it onto the spawn transform that we have right here. So basic spawn transform, and then we want to store this in a variable so that we can change stuff on it. So we're gonna do employee UI slot equals that. So that should spawn that in. I think that's good. Make sure my mic is not muted. Alright, we're good. I'm like paranoid now from doing that. Okay, so do you guys remember these variables that I said we would set later? The bag index and the slot index? We're gonna set those now as we're spawning them in. So we'll say slot.bagindex equals, this is the inventory bag, so we're just gonna set it to that. And then we'll set the actual slot index to not iPhone utils. No, that is not what I wanted. We'll set it to I, and I is basically like every time this loops around, I gets incremented by 1. So like the first time this runs, I will be 0. The second time it runs, I will be 1, and computers start counting from 0. So that's why it's sort of off by 1. Coding as a full-time job looks so cool. The things you can make, but at the same time, it looks so complicated. The first time I started doing Unity, everything seemed so complicated. Like I had no idea how I was gonna like do anything like this. But now I can just like sort of just write code on the fly. It's really fun once you get good at it. So yeah, so now we have the slot, and we want to add it to our list of slots. So we'll just do slots.add, and we want to add our slot that we just made. How many different coding languages do you know? That's a good question. Honestly don't know really. I used to do a lot of JavaScript, but I don't really use that anymore. I just use C# pretty much. That's pretty much all I need to do stuff. Okay, so I think that's pretty much good. I'm sure I did something wrong, but I guess we'll run into that. Okay, so now we need to actually first let's go ahead and check if this works or not. So we can kind of see like if this breaks, then we know that something's wrong in this part. Okay. Hopefully our new method of capturing Unity will keep it from crashing, I'm hoping. Please, Unity, don't crash on me. Is there any way you would recommend learning C#? Really, I would just like there's lots of online tutorials on YouTube and stuff for Unity. I just recommend going to some of those and kind of like looking at some popular ones. You should be able to find something pretty good. Okay, let's head back to Unity. Please do not crash. Hey, okay. Let's just clear that. Okay, so let's launch up that. Are there any other languages that you'll be using in Zenith? We're pretty much just using C# for the most part. Like there might be some cases where we have to write like another app that's like in a different language or something, but yeah, for the majority we're going to be using C#. Okay, yeah, let's launch. I think it should work. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. It's always exciting to see if your code is going to work on the first time or not. I'm pretty sure it isn't. Let's see. Oh, I need to put on my headset. Let's go to VR. Oh, I'm seeing an error in the bottom. I think I did something wrong. Okay, my controller turned off. Wait, oh. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, this is just like my temporary testing environment. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I clearly did something wrong because this is not what it's supposed to look like. Okay, let's see what we did wrong. You know what? I think I know what the problem is. I think I just forgot to assign something in the inspector. I'm sure that's the issue. Oh wait, no, I think I know what I did wrong. Here, let me go to the BRB screen because I think I need to look at something a little bit more revealing. Give me a second. Let's check what the error is. Okay, yeah, I think I know what you did wrong. Give me 1 second. Hey, but the good news is that it's not crashing. I'm not using Stack Overflow. I have to open one of the prefabs that's like, can't really show you guys yet. It's a little bit secretive. Let's check this. It's just super hard to do. Yeah, coding is a hard job. Let me check if I said this right. Oh, I just realized what the problem is. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, sorry, I can't show you guys this. This is, yeah, that's the problem. Okay. Let me just hook this up. Give me 1 second. And then we need to connect that. Okay, I think we're good. Alright, sorry about that. Coding live is it is hard. I can save that. Okay, cool. And then I forgot we don't actually put the script here. We put it on a different object. That's my bad. Okay, so let's try testing that again. Let's get back to the scene. Let's restart this. Yeah, at least Unity's not crashing. That's good. Yeah, that's weird that it crashes when I try to capture. I haven't seen that before. Okay, let's let's launch it up. What time is it for me? It is 5:21. I am in Central Time Zone. Okay, let me hop back into VR. Oh. Okay. Wait, I think I've made a terrible mistake. Wait, give me 1 second. Okay, wait, I realized what wrong there. It's like a bug that we have to fix. It happens sometimes. That's okay. Okay, let's try that again. Splash screen. Yeah, I have some different hotkeys set up to switch between stuff. Yeah, it's pretty fancy. Testing seems like annoying. Yeah, it's kind of annoying because you have to put on your headset to test a lot of the things. For some stuff we don't have to, but for like inventory, I kind of have to I have to try to click the buttons on it. There's no getting around that really. Let's see. Okay, cool. It worked this time. Okay. So let us. Okay, cool. So you can see it's spawning in the slots. They don't have the right information yet, but it's spawning in the right amount of slots. I think this is 25. So that's okay. Yeah, cool. So we're making good progress. Now we just need to make the slots. Second. Oh. We need to make the slots display what they actually have in them and not just that potion icon. Jordan uses the Valve index best. Yeah, I use an index. I really like it. Okay, cool. So now we just need to finish this function. So on bags updated, refresh the UI. Okay, yeah, so we're just gonna populate all the slots with the right icons and stuff. Okay. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a list of all the items that the person has in their inventory. Let me make sure the stream is still good. Okay, yeah. So, in the inventory system, we're gonna go to the bags, and again, we're gonna get the the inventory bag, and we want to get the items out of that bag, and we're gonna store that in a dictionary. Items, right? I think that's right. Okay, yeah. Let's check chat. I hear there will be another buy-in. Yep, yeah, we're gonna have another buy-in for the alpha when that happens, so you'll be able to test it out if you want to. And yeah, okay. Okay, cool. So we got the items, and we need to loop over all the slots and populate them with the right item. So let's do another for loop, and we want to loop over all the slots. So it's just slots.count. And let's see. Let's get the current slot one inventory. Slot fills. And so okay, so now we have the slot, and then we want to check if the item is in this slot or not. So basically, how a dictionary works is it's sort of like it's kind of like a Google spreadsheet. There's a bunch of keys, and there's a bunch of values. So like a key could be like 0, and then the value is like a sword or something. And there could be another key for like 5, and it would be like a potion maybe. And we could just put keys in here and assign values to them. And that's basically just how the inventory works. Like each of the numbers is the slot that it's in, and then it has the item. So basically what we need to do is we need to see if the items that contains a key of I. And remember, I is just the iteration, so like every time this code runs, it gets incremented by 1. Yeah, it's kind of like a table, essentially, a database table. So we want to see if if one of the items is in the slot, and if it is, then we're going to say slot setup slot. This is the function that we made earlier, and we're just going to pass in whatever item that is. So we'll pass in the items at this slot. And remember, this is the function we made earlier that just sets the image, it sets the text and stuff like that. I like keys. Yes, keys are very shiny. Shouldn't you code it to use pooling in the first place? Pooling doesn't really apply here since like object pooling is more for like lists of things that kind of like need to be reused, but in this case we're not really reusing items. Like each item is its own item, and we're displaying them all at the same time. So like if the inventory like kind of goes down off the page, then maybe we could pool the inventory slots, but I don't think we're going to need to do that anytime soon. It should be fine. So if the slot is empty, then we're just going to call the other function that we made, which I think was called clear. Wait. Oh, reset slot. Okay. So that'll just set the slot to be empty, so it doesn't have anything in it. And then I think we're actually done now. Let me double check. So we got refresh UI. Gets the items. Okay, and then one thing I want to add here is just in case like the slots aren't set up yet, we want to just return because we don't want to try to spawn in the items if the slots aren't ready yet. So we'll say if the slots are equal to null, or that, I don't know what that was. Slots that count is less than. It goes there, yeah, that works. So like if the slots aren't set up yet, then we'll just like log an error or something. We'll say slots are not set up yet. There we go. And then we'll just return so that it doesn't like crash anything if they're not set up yet. Well, it's not instantiating the slots every time. This instantiation code only runs like when the inventory gets initialized. You can see it's hooked up to onBags initialized. And then this part right here is basically just going over the slots and then setting up the slots if it needs to. And of course we can optimize this later on by like checking like if this slot is changed or not. But in general, tasks like this are like run really fast in Unity. Like there's no reason to optimize this. Like time could be better spent optimizing something that's like actually slow. But yeah, like we can always go back and optimize this later. This is just the first prototype. Okay, yeah, I think we're good. Oh no, you're good. So I think let's go ahead and try to run it now, I guess. We'll give it the home run shot, see if it works. Let me start up the server. Let's see, what language is this? This is C# and Unity. That's what we're using. Let me grab some water while this starts. Okay. Oh, let's talk about. Here we go. Yeah, C# is very similar to Java actually. It's got a lot of the same syntax. Okay, let me go into VR. Okay. So let's go and open our inventory. Hey, it works. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me. Oh yeah, you can see that pretty well. So yeah, we got in our inventory, like this is the inventory that's stored actually, so you can see I have some diamonds, I guess. I think that's the diamonds. I got a health potion. I assume that's a health potion. I don't really know what that is, to be honest. Yeah, these are just random games. Here, let me back. Oh. Let's see. Oh, my playlist right now. Me. Okay. So yeah, I think we're pretty good now. So you can see it spawned in our items from our database. It looks like I have 0 torches for some reason. And again, these are just like completely random items. They're not actually in the game or anything. And this is completely placeholder UI. It obviously looks terrible right now. Yeah, see, Zenith is done. We did it, guys. So yeah, we're gonna ship the game with this. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, I think that's. I guess I can kind of pull this up right here so you can see it a little bit better. Again, this is completely placeholder UI. We're probably gonna have a UI designer come back in the future and kind of just go over these slots. And like I mentioned at the start, the idea with this is that we have the script and we can just connect an image and some text to it. And these images and text could be anything. So like we could completely change what the slot looks like and not have to change the code at all, which is really nice. How is there not a cookie there yet? Don't worry about it. We'll add the cookies later. I promise. And yeah, as you can see, if I click on each of the slots, it has the right index. So this is slot 1, this is slot 0, this is slot 10, I guess. And yeah, it looks like everything's working. You can make a cookie icon. That would be amazing. And then someone mentioned earlier about the UI, like UI frameworks that we're using. We have this little like UI thing that kind of lets us like do fancy UI animations. So you can see, I can preview what it looks like if it's like hovered or someone presses it. But yeah, again, this is all just completely temporary. I'm not a UI designer. So yeah, I think we're pretty much done here. I'll do a little Q&A if you guys have any questions that I can answer. This is a good time to ask questions. Yes, the game is pronounced Zenith with E, Zenith. And now you can connect the placeholder with the real items in the game. Yep, yeah, pretty much. Like, well, technically these aren't placeholders, like they're in our system, but they're just like temporary. They're not like, they don't do anything in the game. Multiple bags, not for now. For now, it's just gonna be like a scrollable list, essentially. Can we actually click the button with our finger? That's a good idea. Right now, I think right now we just have like the laser. But like I said, this is just temporary. We can hook it up to other stuff. Are we? Items similar to Oculus Home. That's not a bad idea. Like we're still experimenting with kinds of UI and stuff. So yeah, it's completely up in the air of how it might. Where'd it go? Okay, it's completely up in the air of how it might look like. I'm assuming the code base is getting pretty big. Yeah, I mean over time it grows. Obviously, we add code. How do you structure it? You basically just have to keep in mind that you have to make things like you have to make them dynamic so that everything doesn't depend on itself. It's like, for example, our inventory UI script that we just wrote. It doesn't have to like depend on anything else. It just depends on the inventory, and otherwise it just runs by itself. It doesn't need anything else. Yeah, Evie's suggestion for like a 3D Oculus something would be really cool, but it just depends. How will the pop-up inventory be? Yeah, that's still sort of in the air. We're experimenting with the best ways to like summon your inventory or whatever. So yeah, I'm sure we'll have more to show on that in the future. How old am I? I am 19. There's not going to be armor made of that. I don't think so. Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to make I'm just going to modify this to, let's see. Will inventory items have weight? We're not wait. I don't believe we're planning to have like a weight system that like slows you down, but that's again that's up in the air. We might change that later on. You should be able to get more bags or something from enemies. Yeah. The idea with this system is that we can just like, because remember if I go back to the code here, wait, that's not the code. It just spawns in however many slots are in your bag. So we like this number can be anything, and it would just spawn in that amount of slots. It's always important to keep your code dynamic like that. We don't want to hard code it to spawn in like only 25 slots. We want it to spawn in like as many as we want, essentially. And oh, I forgot that you guys could actually see that when I was changing it. That's okay. Let me check if there's any final questions before I end the stream. Where did my stream chat go? There it is. Okay. What will happen when you get an item when your inventory is full? It'll probably just like give an error and just like say like, oh, your inventory is full, you can't add this item. And we have some like stuff for that on the back end. Like it won't try to add an item if it's already full. What GPU would be recommended for for Zenith? We have some recommended specs on our Steam page if you want to look at that. Yeah, I think we're gonna finish it for here. We're gonna finish it for now. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hopefully you learned something about Zenith. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I will speak to you guys later.